the Not Slofchad incident comes in chapters after they received their land, their father's land, in the previous parashot. Now their extended families are complaining that the land they got is, once they marry, is going to move to a different tribe, and therefore in that generation they are commanded to marry within the family, within the extended family, so that the land does not move to a different tribe. And we may ask ourselves, what's the big deal? I assume there were other families that there were only girls. So, big deal. So their land would go to a different tribe, and some other tribe's land would go to Shevet Menashe, and from Yehuda to Reuven, and from Shimon to Binyamin, or whatever. What's the big deal? Statistically, it'll level out. So no tribe will be really out of their assets. And the answer to this is really in the words of the verse. It says that the goal of this commandment of Bnot Tzlofchad is Leman Yirshu Bnei Yisrael Ish Nachalat Avotav, that the children of Israel should inherit the legacy or the land of their parents and their forefathers. In other words, back then, not like today, where states are like, you have an apartment in Beit Shemesh, you move to Yerushalayim, you move to Ra'anana, to Givat Shmuel, to Modi'in, you sell here, you go there, you go here, you go there. Back then, being on a piece of land, that was something that was a legacy for generations and generations. And that is the message that comes over to us. Understanding that an individual is not only what we're living for what we have, but we live as individuals on top as part of a legacy of many, many generations. And this commandment in Not Tzlofchad was really telling them, you don't look only at yourselves, but as part of a tribe, as part of a legacy of generations of Nachalat Avot. We remember that later on in the Tanakh, when Achav the king wants the vineyard of Navot Israeli, and Navot Israeli tells him, I'm not going to give it to you for any price in the world, even if you give me 10 times the amount. Why? Chalila li mititi et nachalat avotai lach. I will not give you what I inherited from my fathers and forefathers and what goes in our family for generations. I cannot leave that. It's a legacy. It's something, it's part of me. It's part of my family. It's part of, I'm part of a whole chain of generations. I'm not living for myself. And that, I think, is the message we take with us, especially in this week. Rosh Chodesh Av, leading up to Tisha B'Av. Our mourning is not individual this week. It's our feeling and our connection as individuals to our whole history, to 2,000 years and more of Jewish history, of remembering Beit HaMikdash in Yerushalayim and praying for it to be rebuilt. And if we know how to connect as individuals to our national issues, to Yerushalayim, to Beit HaMikdash, to everything that's related to national, and know how to mourn for it, Bezrat Hashem, we will also merit as individuals to be connected to Am Yisrael and merit the Geulah Shlema of the full building of all Yerushalayim and of Beit HaMikdash and the full redemption of Am Yisrael. Shabbat Shalom.